Good afternoon. I am Abhishek Pal. On behalf of Dr. BCR Polytechnic, welcome you all in the third day, session 2. So, I hope you all had an insightful first technical session. It was all about mind, well-being and mental health. So, it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all in the second technical session. That is on applied energy engineering from renewable system to sustainable practices. Today's session focuses on a subject that has become one of the defining challenges of the 21st century: energy, sustainability and climate change. As the global demand for energy continues to rise, as we all know, the need for sustainable and environmentally responsible energy systems has never been greater. Climate change is no longer a distant concern. It is a reality that demands innovative challenges, innovative technologies, informed policies and collective responsibilities. We have to respond. As educators, researchers, engineers and future innovators, understanding the relationship between energy systems and environmental sustainability is essential for building a cleaner and more resilient future. To enlighten us on this important theme, we are privileged to have with us an accomplished industry expert whose professional journey reflects excellence in environmental management, sustainable practices and power generation. It is my honor to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Sanjay Datta. Mr. Datta is currently serving as lead engineer manager, chemical and environment at Tata Power Maithon Power Limited. While he has been making significant contributions since 2010, prior to this, he served as manager chemical at Rosa Power Supply Company Limited, spent nearly a decade with CESC Limited, steadily progressing through various technical and leadership roles. He also began his professional career with PepsiCo India Holdings, gaining a valuable industrial experience in quality and chemical management. Academically, Mr. Datta holds a Master of Science in Chemistry from University of Calcutta, specializing in agriculture chemistry and soil science, and a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry from prestigious Ramakrishna Mission Vidyamandir, Belur. His passion for continuous learning is evident through his numerous professional certifications in solar energy, environmental management, energy management system, project management, quality management systems, industrial pollution control, and sustainability. He has also earned the green, silver and gold badges under 7 skills of highly sustainable people initiative, demonstrating his commitment to sustainable development and environmental leadership. So, before we begin today's lecture, it is our privilege to express our gratitude to our esteemed speaker. May I now request our respected principal, sir, Dr. Urijit Kumar Banerjee, to kindly come forward and felicitate our distinguished resource person, Mr. Sanjay Datta, with a bouquet as a gesture of our heartfelt gratitude for accepting our invitation. Thank you, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, knowledge becomes truly meaningful when it is shared by those who have transformed theory into practices. We all are actually, learning, but practice is very less. But he has done this one, transformed theory into practices. We are confident that today's session will provide us with practical insights, fresh perspectives, and valuable learning experiences on sustainable energy systems and climate action. Without taking any more of your valuable time, please, sir.
First of all, namaskar, good afternoon to all. Thank you, Dr. Urijit Kumar Banerjee, Mr. Dr. Arnab Chatterjee for giving me this opportunity, and not the least our training research evaluation evaluator, my senior colleague Mr. Manas Deshmukh sir, for just giving me an opportunity or a platform to speak on something about energy transition, climate change and sustainability. Thing is that, and the thing is, this is nothing but it is into our everyday practices. But, and also I thank all the faculty and the young friends from Dr. B.C. Roy Polytechnic College. It has always been a privilege because many of your students have come, many of the people have come and they have interacted in these extra years. So with this very few words, let me just go through it.
Separately.
In the words of Swamiji, Thomaso may not getting now. The screen is dark, right? No, it has a problem. Well, from the house, how many people are still using this? Anybody please? No, you are still using this. Thank you. Or this? Still, but most people are very familiar with this. So because of the candlelight dinners and all. With this, I like to bring forward the first topic is energy transition. Since it is under ATAL FDP program, and as Sir has mentioned about myself, so I need not try to skip this. I am just working as a lead engineer in the Department of Chemistry, Maithon Power Limited. This is a 2 into 525 megawatt thermal power station, and I am there since 2010. Earlier I have worked with different organizations, and I have done BSc, MSc, everything is there, so it is, let me see. And this is my work experience as Sir has mentioned in the very introduction to myself. I take a safety pause. Right this moment, we are at a seminar hall of Dr. B.C. Roy Polytechnic at the 3rd floor. So should there be any emergency, please don't hesitate, because I have observed there is only one door to enter and exit. So you please, without any hesitation, without any wait, you please leave this hall, should there be any emergency. Okay, and the ground rules is request to keep all your mobile phones in a silent mode. I have already done mine. If you have to happen to talk, please do talk in whispers. And any query, please raise your hand. Any emergency requirement, please leave the hall silently. There is no point of holding you here. Okay. And disclaimer is, I put a disclaimer always, the presentation is purely made for knowledge sharing purpose. This is not an AI presentation, because although some of the photographs have been taken from AI platforms, and myself neither a teacher nor a lecturer, so accept me as it is with these ground rules. So you just go, 1899, the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation established the first power station, 1000 kilowatt. Power sector serves to feed the need of the developing nation. Obviously, between 1980 and 2010, the growth was phenomenal. Growth was happening. Then private sectors entered into the picture. And many thermal projects, power projects were proposed, and coal was the main commodity. It was declared that coal will last about only 25 years more, not less, not that, more, about beyond that. And the most vital thing for any thermal power plant is the PPA and FSA. PPA stands for Power Purchase Agreement, and FSA stands for Fuel Supply Agreement. Unless these two are present, no thermal power plant will run. I am telling you, whatever be the status of the plant. So, at the same time, something was brewing, boiling, something was boiling, and there was observed change by way of climate and plant emissions. Many objections were raised from the plant emissions. So there was much human pride. Now, I'll be saying something which may not be in this right context now, but will be coming to that. 2015, there happened a Paris Agreement. It happened in Paris, and the COP22 held in 2016 at Marrakech, Morocco. It was a landmark event because that Paris Agreement came into force. So India, what did our government, PM and other ministers committed that we will come out of thermal power stations. So India committed to divert from thermal power and focus on renewable energy. You see the transition there. And many coal scams were unearthed because earlier ISA said that private sector entered into the private sector entered into the scenario for power generation. So even Reliance, State Bank of India, Mozart Bayer, then comes your Videocon. They came into the picture. We want all established power plants. That was the scenario which power plant was on the rise. And what happened just when the coal scam got unearthed, means all the coal blocks, means wherever the coal will be sourced from, got deallocated. So most of the power plants got stalled. Even I was a very aspirant to go for higher capacity, so market job opportunities lost. So since we just remember 2016, this is the case. So see the calendar, it was 2020. Anyone remembers what happened in 2020? Yes, thank you. It was on this particular date, and the date is marked with a star. It will have a question later on for you to answer. COVID-19 outbreak and lockdown. What happened? Life became very difficult. Negativity by way of deaths, everybody's mind. Psychological pressure, much of the work to be done online, as we all know. Then evolution of apps, that is applicant software to work online. Demand of huge data. Through electronic gadgets, establishment of data centers for data catering. Right? So am I audible at the back? Friends? Please. Moreover, being a developing country, to meet both internal and external demands, more energy in the form of power was required, which could otherwise couldn't be met through renewables, owing to obvious limitations because of the initial cost, instant availability and non-availability, because renewable power is such that it will be available now, it will be maybe not available next moment also. And many other factors pushed the nation to retreat. What happened? This 2020 just pushed the nation to retreat. In latest, I am giving the latest figure, in March 2026, it appeared in ET newspaper, ET Energy World, Economic Times, Energy World is a section. Government plans to add 97,000 megawatts of coal and lignite-based thermal power capacity by 2034-35. You see the figure. Project demand is 3.07 gigawatts or 3,07,000 megawatts. And it was declared by our Minister of Power, Mr. Sripad Naik, latest. Now, where do we stand? Peak power demand this year was 70.8 gigawatts. Okay. So now, what we'll try to learn is how we have to transition from into meeting this peak power demand. Okay, so the conventional energy, so let me check one second. Conventional energy, so this oil first, coal is the baseline, happens to be wind, water, hydro, large and small, whatever it may be, pump, storage, chemical, that is a nuclear one, and solar and others. First is oil. The crude oil, as you know what is happening in Iran, between Iran and USA. USA has sufficient quantity of oil, but they want to capture the quantity from others. That's the reason this conflict has arisen. And oil, they are such that everybody wants to take the means what do you say, gain the momentum or take the mastery of what is the control. So that is the reason. But here what we try to focus is, from 1 liter of crude oil, what we get, petrol is 460 ml, diesel 260 ml, aviation fuel 90, LPG 40, other products is 150, which is reusable, and total, and this is controlled by OPEC, that is oil and petroleum exporting countries, most the Gulf countries. And particularly this fuel is being used not in the generation of energy in the other space for driving cars and vehicles and all everything like that. So it's also known as a liquid gold. Now I have come to the point, because we have to make 97,000 megawatts of power based on fuel, coal lignite based. So we come to the coal, but who is the highest consumption? Which country consumes the coal at the highest? Can we, and from the house, anybody from the house? Which country consumes the largest coal? China. Thank you. Next highest? Second is India. You see the share 11.7. Is it visible from the back? Third is Indonesia. Fourth is USA. So apart from these four, all this means we have seen this, what is the major share. And this is the by graphical which countries are consuming the coal, and this coal will be now used to generate. Earlier was the subcritical power plant that is less than 6,060 megawatt capacity. They said they have obsoleted this 660 means 600. They would focus on 660. Supercritical, ultra supercritical, advanced ultra supercritical, based on operating pressure, temperature and overall efficiency. Right now we are working at Maithon. Maithon is a subcritical, 525. But it is operating at the subcritical pressure. But what happened going to this COVID and thereafter, government just bypassed all rules, said that you just carry on generating power. This is the transition, I would say. Because earlier they pledged, promised, I will not generate, will deviate. But now they are told, okay, you are having the power, keep generating, we'll ease the norms for you. But don't stop. Because while anybody can have an answer for this, but it is such, usually a thermal power takes 48 months to come into picture. If you start today, 4 years will minimum, go by minimum time will be required. So till that time, you are in 2016, it happened you decided in 2016 not to go for it. And then suddenly you just wake up 2020, then you say that okay, we need to have more power, and COVID was continuing till 2021. At 4, then you take a decision that okay, you keep carrying on this your business. Now after all, once the people who go away from this, they need to again reassemble, means finances, power purchase agreement, already you have declared that only 25 years more coal, who will provide that coal? So you have to source the coal. Then who will buy the power? Unless you have to sell, no point of investing in such manner, because all these are business people, with all the private houses like Adani, means Reliance, they all calculate. Even Tata Power also, but I'm working, because Tata Power has already placed that will not go into any thermal power, we will stop. And in fact, they have taken a decision, they are not going to expand into any other thermal projects. Okay, so we are focusing right this moment at the renewable sector. Will be coming slowly. So this is the case where now you see all the government sectors are pumped up. NTPC, 800 minimum megawatt capacity they are putting the units. 800 into 5, 4,000 megawatts, or 800 into 2 or 3. Even JSW plant, JSW Energy, they formed a new chapter. JSW Energy, they are a very small company. Suddenly they came up into the picture that we will be going for thermal power. Our target is 30,000 megawatts. Means like this they will go, and they will also be focusing on the renewable sector as well, because alone thermal will not do. Side by side we have to go for the renewable sector as well, because in order to maintain, we'll be coming slowly sustainability. We'll slowly coming to every aspect. We'll try to cover all those things. So next comes the wind. Wind is the cumulative installed capacity of only 56 gigawatts. That is 56,000 megawatts we are having, mostly in Gujarat, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. Apart from that, it is not, there is no wind power in India. And firstly, you have to see that the last year was a very phenomenal growth of the wind power, and 2000 goal is only 140 gigawatts. Why 140? Because India has taken a renewable target of 500 gigawatts with cumulative target with renewables and non-renewables. This is 500 megawatt. So next comes the hydel, as is common to all. Large hydros more than 25 megawatts capacity generating, and small hydros is less than 4.6. But in India, we are having only this much, 46 large hydros managed by the Ministry of Renewable Energy, and by small hydros managed by Ministry of Renewable and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So this is a difference. Now, who holds the first position in hydro? Anybody? China again. China is the world's largest producer of hydro. Installed capacity is 400 gigawatts. No comparison with us. Nothing. You see to these people how they have done. And the latest was the Three Gorges Dam. They violated every environmental norms, every world challenges. United Nations said that please don't do this dam. 22.5 gigawatt of energy. Three Gorges Dam. On where? River Yangtze. You know Wangu and Yangtze Kiang were the sorrows of China. Have you heard now? We said sorrow of India, Bengal is Damodar. But who is the sorrow of Wangu and Yangtze Kiang? Now they are building on that river itself, Yangtze Kiang. There is not in picture. Now what they are doing silently, they are building the largest Yardan Sanko, that is on the river Brahmaputra, flowing to that territory. It will be generating 60 gigawatt power. And what will happen, you know, it will like a water bomb to us. Suddenly they will release the water, just we have done to Pakistan, blocking the industrial treaty. Indus water, suddenly we have blocked that water, and if Tata will release that water, they can do the same thing to us also. So this is the case. So don't rely on these people. They are very dangerous. Don't mind me telling this because I have studied them. But I have put a but at the end. If you follow, I will be coming to this. Now pumped hydro storage, a transitional innovation. Why? Because it acts as a giant water battery using two water reservoirs from different heights. Now Tata Power specifically is focusing on this, pumped hydro storage. They are locating sites at different parts of India, mostly hilly areas where they can store the water at the top, and they will release the water, and again they use the renewable power to pump the water back to that point. So this will continuously flow continuously. What is the balance is, they will balance the power bill. Should there be any shortfall, they can easily run that thing and that power will get generated. So you see the transition because it is renewable one. And pumping uses cheap extra electricity from the grid of solar and wind to push water up from a lower pool to an upper pool. And generating means let water fall down normal, just like hydel power like that. So this is a picture of a pump storage, high level to low level. Next, our most common, which we are familiar with, is our solar energy. So solar rooftop, that is Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Mukt Bijli Yojana, we have launched. And the light and heat from the sun that people turn into power using technology like photovoltaics. But solar energy was very costly. Means in 2016 was very costly because photovoltaics were manufactured in China. Although he despised China, that we should not use Chinese product during the COVID, but most of the things came from China itself. Because there are such people, they keep on doing business. So photovoltaics were manufactured in China. Now we have got our indigenous developing facility. Tata Power is setting up an ingot facility at Odisha. In Tamil Nadu, different factories have been set up. In fact, at Tamil Nadu, we are having 4 gigawatt generating that solar cell manufacturing. Okay. So, and the power story. There is a question for you. Which Indian city holds the record of solar rooftop installation? Because we are having solar rooftop installation. Which Indian city? Anybody? Any other? No. Solar rooftop? No. 87,000 rooftop installation. Where? Lucknow. It surpassed Surat. Surat was first, but it surpassed Surat. And now in Uruguay, we focus from our country to Uruguay. The country in 2008 was electricity deficient, means they are dealing under electric problems. They have to burn imported oil, they have to import oil for burning, for electricity generation. Buying emergency power from Argentina and Brazil. Okay, our rivals, or the famous, our favorites. But a physicist, mind it, why I am point of telling is that it is us who make the difference. A physicist named Ramon Mendes Galain, he was studying subatomic particles. He said that we should rebuild our grid with our own indigenous renewable system. So that has been done. So building the grid almost entirely renewable system. You guys go to Uruguay, they are not having any power shortages. So this is the story. Which country was who is the global solar energy leader? Anybody from the house? Which country? Italy. Just imagine, such a small country. Next is come Germany. Anywhere India near? Spain. No, India is not here. But here is a picture. There is a graphical representation of the global energy leaders. Okay. Next, the transition of the energy is molten salt, potassium nitrate and sodium nitrate. Because it is not come into picture, but Solar Energy Commission of India, that is ACCI, is promoting this. Okay, and 60%, 40% mix, and it will be heating, capturing solar heat and releasing that heat that is enough to supply 10 to 24 hours during peak power demand. Can you imagine such a things? Renewable things were happening in India itself. We are thinking. Okay. Battery energy storage system, earlier power gone, all darkness, nothing, but suddenly things are how. We used to say that current was stored, which we cannot store the energy. But now it has come. It is linked with the grid. Devices to excess electricity generated from particular renewable energy market. Okay. The question has come at the bottom. Where is the world's largest operational electrochemical battery storage system located and capacity? Anybody? Khavda, BSS Gujarat by Adani Power, 3.37 gigawatts. So India is not that means far. We are developing very soon. Okay. So BSS, that is battery energy storage system. Khavda, you see, Khavda as a park, it was all barren land. They have converted it into a business opportunity. This is the transition, I would say, not only for energy but also for business also. Okay. So this is very familiar to us. Nuclear power, NPCI. The Shanti bill. What is the Shanti bill? Because we have to focus on 500 gigawatt of energy with thermal as well as renewable. So earlier nuclear power was a ban. no huge pollution, but suddenly they realize that it is the cleanest power and it occupies less space compared with thermal power, the area that required for thermal power station. So this is the Shanti bill, that is sustainable harnessing and advancement. It is point. Nuclear energy for transforming India. Target is 100 gigawatts. By 2047, we have all a chance. 2047. And it will be solely under atomic energy regulatory body. They will not allow, it will be a private public participation because now Jindal has ventured into that. They have constructed a new power concern. Adani has come into the picture. Vedanta has come into the picture. Tata Power is thinking because they have to find, locate, size where these nuclear power stations will be established. In fact, old thermal power stations are obsolete or decommissioned thermal power stations can be used for this. And the evolution comes from, but the thing is that India will need 25 lakh crores. Can you imagine the figure? 25 lakh crores sweeping regulatory reforms, faster project execution and a new generation of small modular reactors to achieve the target, which is published by the Energy and Research Institute, TERI. And there are no, I think it is established, TERI. TERI has given this figure, it's not our point. The renewable companies, I have just given an idea. This is Adani, NTPC, but Tata Power, although we have a very much high, but it is in the third position. But this renewable energy sector is accelerating unprecedented pace, supported by ambitious clean energy targets. And this is the market capitalization. To what extent they have promised and how much they have put into, they have got back. It's a market capitalization. And the another thing is the bio-CNG. Have you heard about the bio-CNG, latest term? This we are also doing. Bio-CNG is known as compressed biogas. Sorry, I am turning into that. And it's a purely eco-friendly renewable fuel. 90% pure methane. So you can burn and match it with the energy quality of fossil-based natural gas. So it's different from CNG because it's from bio. And the latest project running in Gujarat is Suzuki Motors and Banas Dairy because all that countdown waste. See that means renewable. That is also a sustainable part as well. So demonstrating this is circular economy. What is circular economy? Circular economy is that our mine waste becomes a raw material of yours. Means suppose then again that is goes on a circle. That is nothing goes to waste. In fact, at our station, our CEO has given a target: zero waste to landfill. Means our plant should run in such a way that no waste will be generated to fill up the lands. Zero waste to landfill. This is the sustainable target, and this is the figures with respect to the energies. With solar power, how much? 150, 56, 51, like this biopower and this small hydros. Okay. Next comes hydrogen, another source of power now. It has evolved to a new national green hydrogen. National green hydrogen mission stage. But what is green hydrogen, friends?
Pollution, made in pollution fuel.
Okay, any other points, sir, from the back? What is green hydrogen? Because
created from reactions which uses renewable source.
thank you. Because hydrogen is a colorless, odorless gas. How can we color it green? So the green hydrogen is that it should be generated from with electricity, because definitely electricity is of water, but using green energy sources. That is, sir, I have made it out. This is the green hydrogen. Then comes blue hydrogen. Means they have to mark to make the color blue hydrogen product from natural gas with carbon capture and storage to reduce emissions. Then grey hydrogen, natural gas without carbon capture, resulting in significant carbon dioxide emissions. This is the other classified, actually nothing. Turquoise, produced from methane pyrolysis, generating solid carbon instead of carbon dioxide. And then yellow hydrogen, produced with powered by nuclear energy. And last one is a pink, using the electricity from nuclear power plants. Okay. And India's National Green Hydrogen Mission is an ambitious 19,744 crore project initiative launched to make the country a global hub for producing and using exporting clean hydrogen. It aims to achieve at least 5 million metric tons of annual green hydrogen capacity by 2030. This is too long, but we are focusing. And supported by 125 gigawatt of new and renewable energy. Others is ammonia. It's not much into practice, but it is known as green ammonia. Why green ammonia? Because again you have to generate ammonia through green sources. Because combination of nitrogen and hydrogen gives ammonia. The nitrogen is from atmosphere. If you generate hydrogen from by green methods, means by applying green technology, you will get green ammonia. So this is ammonia to power and power to ammonia. So this is mostly used in shipping. But I said that there are certain birds. I have summed up those birds. For the hydro plant, El Nino, most of us are famous. It is coming into the newspaper news, El Nino effect, El Nino effect, El Nino effect. So El Nino effect, the India's hydropower generation has seen a steepest drop, 20% since February 24. That means there is water levels in the reservoirs have gone down. And thermal, facing the biggest threat from the renewable sector, again clashing with each other. Why I am telling you now, renewable means solar power. Solar power has no limit. You can generate as much as you can. So government has given you free board, means what do whatever you want. And if solar power happens in the daytime, suppose your project is 120 megawatts, you are generating 120 megawatts. But the whatever power you generate is getting fed to the grid. Grid has a definite capacity. So if you overload that grid will trip. So that's the reason why, in order to facilitate the solar producers, government said that you go for load foregoing, means thermal power stations have to reduce their load now. Right this moment at my plant, the plant 1050 megawatts is running only with 600 megawatts. So imagine the loss. Even they said that you will go to minimum technical load. Minimum technical load is 40% load of the installed capacity. So that too also we have tested, because should there be any decision or any order that you have to operate the plant on minimum technical load, we have to go back on that. We have tested ourselves whether we are able to meet with this demand or we have to cope with the demand. So this is the reason why thermal power is facing the biggest threat today. And ammonia is obviously toxicity, combustion issues, and nitrous oxide emission is also something. And some crazy innovation and transition. Japan is launched, have you imagined, fast osmotic power plant, nobody thought of. We generate electricity by mixing fresh water with salt water. Mixing fresh water with salt water. And the plant will generate about 880,000 kilowatt hour of energy, enough to run a nearby desalination project, because they are using salination plant, mixing that, and the water will get concentrated. Again, they have to desalinate that water. That power will be catered to again to run this plant, desalination facility, and support around 220 homes. And you can just imagine what the thing is. This above equals the output of 2 football fields of solar panels. If you have put standard football fields of installed solar panels, this output will become to that. So you see, imagine the distance area required and compared with this idea. This is a crazy idea from Devan. So not only in India, because people are not sitting idle. People are thinking what to do. So all over the world there is a big crisis. Next, anybody? The leader is Denmark. Denmark was the first country to put this idea, osmotic pressure, and power from osmotic pressure. China again, what they have done, 2 waste heat recovery units, they are installed in a steel plant, Chaotang one, whose name as carbon dioxide in its supercritical form. Have we thought of supercritical power with steam? But they have running that power with supercritical carbon dioxide. You see, replacing steam. The world's first commercial facility is running stably. It's running. So this brings to a comparison, now we have told many things about power, this much of power, this much of energy to be generated. Let's compare with our next door neighbor. Who is our next door neighbor? Is China. That is, China has 4,000 gigawatts of energy as of today. And where we are standing, we are only 288 gigawatts. Just imagine. We cannot compare ourselves with China. 4,000 gigawatts mixing of all, solar, wind, whichever, non-fossil share, whatever. Now, what happens is, India's target is 288 gigawatts of April 2026. We are targeting 500 gigawatts by 2030. And in every year we will be adding 55 roughly gigawatt of power. Then India, we say, is in the right line, but China plans. What is the Chinese plan? They are adding 200 to 300 gigawatt every single year, 4 times the capacity of us. And through 2030, so India's entire 500 gigawatt target is roughly what China adds in 2 years. So please don't try to compare yourself with China. We stand nowhere in comparison with them with respect to the power generation. So the question is, are we building enough of ourselves of that stack domestically? Means we are saying, propagating, we are doing renewables, but we are not standing in competition with China. Okay. So with this, we come to a conclusion of the energy transition. Any questions from the house? Because I tried to encompass every aspect of that most thermal power station, because we are working on every aspect, but everything is not being done at the same facility. So these are the things, areas where we can focus on. These renewables, but at the same time we have to focus with our competitors as well, what they are doing and what they are thinking. So it depends on us, because we are the think tank. If we can think something that will give a sustainable, means whatever things renewable, whatever, we can go ahead with that. Everything comes from research. That is right from supercritical carbon dioxide to osmotic. Everything comes from this. They are doing experimenting, and then they can do a large scale. So there's also funding will come. Government is willing to give the funds. Okay, at least here we take a break. You have any break, please? Just 5 minutes. Okay, then I'm next time. Sorry.
time back.
So welcome back once again. We just have discussed something about the energy transition, different forms of energy from conventional to renewable. Now, today I feel the weather or climate is perfect for any setting. So my question is, are we looking at weather or are we looking at climate? So with that, our next session is climate change. So the first question comes, what is the difference between weather and a climate?
Climate for day. Weather is day and climate for 1 month or year.
But every day we are getting a news, read that today's weather, but does they say today's climate? So the basic difference is study of atmospheric condition for a short period of time. Like in the morning it was sunny, suddenly it happened to rain, now it is cloudy. This is the weather. And the study of the average weather is over a long period of time. Next is short-term phenomenon. Whether it's a short-term phenomenon, it's a long-term phenomenon. Obviously in our school text we should write this. In this present, not like that. So weather changes frequently, just as we are saying, but climate does not change frequently. Depends on a small area, district or a state, and depends on a large area, like a state, a country, huge area in fact. In fact, I'd like to share, today I was seeing the weather report, 1,000-kilometer long monsoon stretches over India. So this is the climate change. Suddenly, I will come why this has happened. Climate change in 1960s, we'll have to go back some history. Evidence of warming effect of carbon dioxide has become increasingly convincing because it's happening, it was happening. Many other things of climate change were advocated, involved forces from volcanism to solar radiation. And atmospheric aerosols like diesel pollution also could have cooling effects. Means aerosols being thrown into the atmosphere could have. So 97% of the climate scientists agree to the fact that climate change is happening now. Let's see. On a broad level, the cause of climate change categorized as natural causes and human causes. Natural processes always influencing the Earth's climate. Climate changes prior to industrial revolution in 1700s. The records show that today's climate warming, particularly that which has occurred since mid-20th century, not now, occurring at a faster rate than in the past, and it cannot be explained solely by natural causes. It has happened. Let's see. What are the natural causes? Natural causes is Earth orbit and rotation. It's happening. Nobody knows. Variation in solar activity that we cannot control. Changes in Earth's reflectivity. Volcanic activity. Now all volcanoes are coming into existence. Suddenly you find that volcano has erupted. Something is happening there underneath. And naturally occurring carbon dioxide concentration. It is also happening. And the human causes. The Earth's temperature depends on the balance between the energy entering and leaving the planet system. When sunlight reaches the Earth's surface, it can either be reflected back into space or absorbed by the Earth. Incoming energy that is absorbed by the Earth warms the planet, obviously. So this gives, I have a test of your learning. So we have a magnet and there are 4 options. So which are natural causes and which are human causes from the house? Man, you have to say in totality. Natural causes, we are having 4 clips. The clips will get naturally attracted to that magnet. 1 and 3?
Natural cause.
Natural, who said?
Sir, 1 and 3 will be natural cause and 2 and 4 will be the human cause. The 4 of
Exactly. Chocolate from you. What you said?
Yes, sir.
And natural causes. So variation in solar activity and obviously change accepted means natural causes and semiconductors and combustion of fuels are the human causes. There are many greenhouse gases which will different ability to trap heat known as global warming potential. So these are the things, abstract things, but we need to keep in mind, and has a different half-life in the atmosphere, means that will be reducing to its half value. And when the concentration of greenhouse gases is too high, too much heat is trapped, and the Earth's temperature rises outside the range of natural variability. Let's see, which are the greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxides, hydrofluorocarbons, polyperfluorocarbons, sulfur hexafluoride. Now the recent build of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere of human activities has changed the Earth's climate. Human activities have added very large quantities of greenhouse gases into the Earth's atmosphere, and these greenhouse gases act like greenhouse to trap the sun's energy. What is greenhouse? It's a horticultural farm. Let's see. These are sources. We are using coolants, PFCs in our refrigerant system, aren't we? We are using such things. Then we are having aerosols, pesticides, solvents, fire extinguishers. But you see the lifetime in atmosphere, PFCs is having 2,600 to 50,000 years. And this global warming potential is 7,000 to 12,000. So you can imagine what will happen if you keep on using this. Obviously, sulfur hexafluoride is acting as a breaker isolation fuel, electrical breaker isolation fuel, isn't it? Yes. It is also having 3,200 years, because half-life means it will be, after that time it will, how many times we will be born we do not know. So it is having 22,800 global warming potential. Obviously the greenhouse effect, what is the greenhouse effect? Process by which absorption and emission of infrared radiation from the atmospheric gases warm planet's lower temperature and surface. Naturally occurring greenhouse gases have a mean warming effect, that is 33 degrees centigrade, without which Earth will be uninhabitable, because that minimum temperature is required. On Earth, the major greenhouse gases are water vapor, which causes about 36 to 70% of the greenhouse effect, not including clouds, carbon dioxide and others, methane 429, ozone 3 to 7. The issue is how the strength of the greenhouse gases effect changes when human activity increases the atmospheric concentration of some greenhouse gases. So absolutely it is linked with us. And that leads to global warming. That is, global warming is the increase in the average measured temperature of Earth's near surface, air and ocean since mid-20th century. It is happening. They are measuring this. And it is synonymous with the term climate change. Okay, and this is a matrix which was taken that increased to 0.74 plus minus 0.88 degrees centigrade during 100 years, ending in 2005. They have taken a measure. We will come to these figures. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, the government will definitely come each and every month. For the time being, just hold your inquisitiveness, will be coming. And the average 20th, since mid-20th century is very likely due to the observed increase in greenhouse gases concentration via an enhanced greenhouse effect. Let's see, this is a carbon cycle. You mostly know, you need not to go detailed into this, how the carbon cycle moves each and every time. So where there is a disturbance, it will be doing the negative aspect. We will be having this negative aspect. Just a minute. This is the climate change and the temperature graph. Concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere over a period of time, if emissions continue unaltered, you see the red line, it is going up, and it is more than 300, it has crossed more than 300 emissions. Okay. So thousands of years before present, they have taken a historic data, means it has been done by all international bodies. And this is a climate change, and this is a systematic greenhouse warming, because sun rays are falling, some part is absorbed, some part is reflected by our Earth's atmosphere. That is the tropopause, we having 0 to 12 kilometers, and stratopause and the mesopause or the thermopause, like that. So this is the area where it gets reflected back. But if most of that energy is absorbed into the atmosphere, obviously the temperature is retained, and and gradually it starts burning, like we are having in this room. Okay. And climate change cause and effect, causes of greenhouse is rapid industrialization which happened, then population explosion. There is unabated going on, population is going up. Then depletion of natural resources, obviously, natural phenomenon, volcanic activity, anything can happen, earthquakes, modification of ecosystems we are doing. And now effects is the cause, and the effects is increasing the intensity of extreme weather events. Suddenly very hot. You said it cannot be born, but glacier retreat will be coming. Multiple countries this year, I think you have observed, recorded France 40 degrees. We speak of Europe, we feel cold, isn't it? France recorded 40 degrees. And mostly young people, in order to beat the heat, have jumped into the lakes and rivers. They did not know swimming, they have drowned. More than 100 people, they reported figures, but I should not claim on the exact day. Eiffel Tower was closed at that point of time. It's so hot. Then UK and Spain issued red alert for temperatures greater than 44 degrees centigrade. And overnight thunderstorms were happening. So now, June 29 onward, see, it is reported on 26th of June this year by Physics Organization that June 29 onward, Switzerland's glacier will have exhausted the snow reserve. We are almost familiar with the Switzerland snow. Switzerland, we think of Switzerland all snow and snow. But glaciers have exhausted with the snow reserve. No more snow. I will show the picture. Every liter of meltwater now causes them to lose mass. And this is glacier loss per day happening. And between the extreme years 2003 to 2022 alone, 200 square kilometers of ice have gone. Mind it, how it happened, how it changed within this time. So this is the global mean temperature, academic interest. Global mean temperature, how it is rising, and the global graph shows standard deviation temperature from global average. The global average is how red indicates that it is already in the northern hemisphere, particularly where we are living. Okay. And this is the heat map of the world. It is done since 1995 to 2004. You see hot. The image shows the temperature anomalies around the world attributed to global warming. You see all these heat maps. No country is spared. Not a single country is spared. Temperature anomalies happening. Now the rising impacts of global warming. What will happen now? Let's see. Now we are this level was taken, that is 0.74. I remember, sir, 0.74 was taken in 2007. That was the baseline. Above that, they have said that 1 degree centigrade increase risk of extinction of 20 to 30% of known species. Most coral will get bleached, means corals, red coral will get bleached. And increasing mortality from heat waves, floods, and droughts, as we have observed very recently. People are dying. But if we help it to go to 1-2 degrees plus, what will happen? Natural system causing bitterly negative consequences for biodiversity, water and food supplies. I read an advertisement from a known travel agency, visit these places before they are gone. Can you imagine? Visit these places before they are gone. Maldives, they will go underwater. No more. I'm just giving an example. And still I'm having that video. They said that visit these places before they are gone. 10 places to visit before they are gone. Right? 10 specific spaces. Obviously not in India or because now global warming is pertains to the entire world, not only single place. So these are the pictures, you know. 1941 you see the glacier, and 2004 it has turned into a river, means mass loss totally. And now these are the glacial peaks. All lost. You see the comparative figures. So Greenland lost 5 billion tons of ice last year, 2025, as per report dated 10 July. And the Arctic Sea has declined to about 6% between 2024 and 25. Means within 2 years, Arctic Sea ice was gone down by 6%. Means Arctic is also a controlling factor for us. So based on this, if we sum up what we get, melting of polar ice caps, rising sea levels, as I mentioned, we just spoke about, so global ecosystem out of balance will endanger several species of animals and spread of diseases. Warmer waters and more hurricanes, mostly in North America, will be coming, increasing probability and intensity of droughts and heat waves. Economic consequences, severe flooding in Kenya and other countries. Africa in March, it happened. Loss of biodiversity, destruction of ecosystems. Let's see. We spoke about right this moment El Nino effect, right? So what is El Nino? El Nino is known as El Nino, comes from the Peruvian word. Is coined by a fisherman. He said that it's known as El Nino Southern Oscillation Cycle. So during normal conditions in the Pacific Ocean, trade winds, as the earth rotates from west to east. So what happens? The winds move from east to west. So blow west along the equator, taking warm water from South America towards Asia. Mind it, from the Pacific it is rising, and just on the this is here we are having America, and on other side Asia. It is moving like this. So this is happening. So this to replace that warm water, cold water rises up from the depths, and this process is known as upwelling. So and the opposite word for El Nino is La Nina, is the opposite climatic position. So both El Nino and La Nina will have global impact on weather, wildfires, ecosystem, economies. And episodes last 9 to 12 months, also only 1 year. Both events occur every 2 to 7 years on an average, but they do not occur in a regular schedule. But El Nino is more frequently than La Nina. So everybody you see in the newspapers, El Nino effect, El Nino effect, El Nino effect. So let's go a little bit into this. El Nino effect 2026 is become the new normal because we have faced intense heat in the month of May. Am I right? April, May, terrific heat was there, unbearable heat was there. So deadly heat waves. France is very hot nights. Spain burning forest, wildfire happened. Then before Belgium, unprecedented excess death, and Switzerland vanishing glaciers. Why happened? Why you say that, sir? Why these deaths have happened? Because European countries are equipped to means they are geared to bear the intense climate. It's heavy, very cold. So they have no ventilation at all. So all the elderly people died. Mostly the elderly people died because of this effect. And the world will definitely the instances. Southwest monsoon, our very own southwest monsoon hit the wall. It came on 4th June. It was declared that monsoon is on, but it hit the wall. What happened? Because combination of Pacific disturbances, western disturbances, weak low pressure formation, and lack of Madden-Julian oscillation is a term that changes with over a period of time. It's not in our scope of discussion. Support and emerging El Nino all played a role. Means everyone disturbed that southwest monsoon. And the most significant influences came the western Pacific Ocean. And last but not the least, 2026 World Cup. Most of you have observed that United States created a massive heat wave. Why? Because led to extreme temperature and high humidity that frequently exceeded safe thermal thresholds. So hydration breaks were given at each half. Might remember? Hydration break. First half 22 minutes, hydration break. Then again 22 minutes. Again then break, then again 22 like this. This is the hydration break. That's because of this El Nino effect. See the practical aspect and practical happening, it has happened. But there is a but here. Nature answered differently. How? Let's see. Rain has returned to the hills of Uttarakhand to the coast of Odisha. We are right now facing the rain. How it happened? Cluster of spinning air pockets working together with the monsoon trough. There is a monsoon route from southwest, southeast towards the west, north side. The spinning air pockets rotating anti-cyclonic circulation. This lower cyclone is no longer a cyclone, baby cyclone we can say. Pocket of swirling wind around the patch of lower air pressure spinning anti-clockwise in the northern hemisphere. So this cyclonic circulation pulls in moist air, forces it to rise and helps it pull into clouds. IMD has reported currently 5 circulations like Haryana, Northeast Madhya Pradesh, Southwest Rajasthan, North Chhattisgarh and West Central Bay of Bengal. This is the region where you are getting the rains. Back in fact, see the natural effect, climate change, how it happened. I told you that today suddenly you see the sun is coming up, again it will start raining. There is thousands of kilometers stretch of rain. You can see the meteorological picture today. So 1,000 kilometers stretch, cloud is there. And cooling effect of volcanic eruption also, mostly we say volcanic eruptions are bad, but cooling, it also have some cooling effects because it generates some sulfur dioxide and by absorbing moisture it converts to sulfuric acid, which is rapidly means form fine aerosols which absorb moisture, heat, but also at the other side it also generates carbon dioxide, a potent greenhouse gas. These are ifs and buts. Another term is a bomb cyclone. Anybody has of the bomb cyclone? It happens in mostly North America. Suddenly, very powerful mid-latitude storm intensifies rapidly, means atmospheric pressure will drop 24 millibars within 1 day. And what will happen? It will pull extreme air aggressively, resulting in hurricane force wind, heavy precipitation, heavy severe blizzard condition, means 3 to 4 feet of ice immediately it will happen. This is also a climatic condition which America faces. We are very fortunate to be living in that country which does not face such things. Although we are doing something that is definitely causing a change in the climate, we will be responsible. Okay. So now many questions were there, many terms were used. Let's see. Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. These are all international intervention, mind experts. Because climate change is such an aspect that is not belonging to one particular country. It is belonging to every country all over the world. So, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, is a government body of the United Nations that provides the world with objective scientific information relevant in the understanding of the scientific basis of the risk human-induced climate change, its natural, political, economic impacts and risks. That's a figure I showed. It was issued by that IPCC. That 1 degree, 0.74 to 1 degree, then 1.5 means 2 degrees. That was issued by this IPCC. United Nations Framework on Climate Change, UNFCCC. This is the most important thing because this is a signed treaty for environmental change negotiated by 154 states. Okay. And Greenhouse Gas Protocol, GHG. This is the latest term it has come. And the partnership between World Resource Institute and World Business Council, Greenhouse Gas Emission Protocol, particularly at this moment, at this next month, Durgapur University will be conducting one under the Department of, under the guidance of Professor Niladri Chaudhary. He will be conducting one greenhouse emission study, both at high and low load at our plant. So this is a national directive. Whether you are not meeting this protocol, you are following these rules or not. We say that we are not emitting greenhouse, but they are doing a practical measurement at this moment. All thermal power industries. So they will be mapping. So what is the greenhouse emission actually we are getting? Okay. All nations are member of the UNFCCC and they meet almost every year. We spoke at the very start, we said COP, right? Remember? COP 15, COP 16, COP 22. What is COP? So this is Conference of the Parties, COP. All members, that is 154 members, like we meet, gathering, they meet every year. And this is known as the Conference of the Parties, and the number is given. Supreme decision making body of the convention reviews the national communication emission inventories, assesses the effects of the measures taken by parties and the progress made towards the objective. And first meeting held in Berlin, Germany, March 1995. So we spoke about COP Paris Agreement, mind it, 2015. Right? So it was COP 21. It happened in Paris. It was a landmark agreement to combat climate change and to accelerate and intensify the actions and investment needed for a sustainable low carbon future. And it was known as the historic Paris Agreement, which we just mentioned in our very beginning. That's what we mentioned, is Paris Agreement 2015. So latest one is 2000 COP30 held at Belém, Brazil, in the Amazon basin. Why? The convention reached an agreement calling for a tripling of the funding for the developing nations to manage climate impacts and accelerate the clean energy transition. So you see the international bodies are active too, because every year they are meeting, and next meeting COP30 will be in Turkey, Antalya, the place called Antalya. So this is the Paris Agreement. International, now we have come to that one, the Paris Agreement, COP21.
अभी भी उसके पास सर्टिफिकेट नहीं है।
Pardon sir, anybody exception? Every nation is committed shifting away from dirty fossil fuel towards cleaner, smarter energy option in order to limit global temperature rise in this century to 2 degrees Celsius, sir. We mentioned about a 2 degree. Here is the point, or 1.5 degrees Celsius. And this is a legally binding international treaty on climate change adopted in 2015 with the overarching goal of limiting global warming to well below 2 degrees centigrade and ideal to 1.5. So they are targeting 1.5 for the time being. So everything are interrelated. We are generating power based on this Paris Agreement. We just retreated, no renewable, but again COVID happened. Again we took forward to generate this thermal powers. So this is continuously happening, but still this stuff will go on, because which one is both which one to do, climate change or development? Like this you have to balance.
अभी मान लो नहीं चलेगा तो
So the journey will continue. I have to change
तुमसे
the last leg,
मान लो
not take
नहीं
my
चलेगा तो फिर क्या करना है?
Because in our point of discussion, the journey will never end.
अभी जो है
It keeps on continuing. So we like journey continues.
नहीं ये सब एकदम मत करना उधर। देखो डिजिटल साइन वो नहीं होता है कि सिग्नेचर काट के कहीं पेस्ट करके, दैट इज नॉट अ डिजिटल साइन। एक बार उनसे पूछो, देखो लेटर हेड नहीं है मतलब वो टेम्पोररी नहीं रहने वाला मामला हो सकता है, उनका तो ऑफिशियल लेटर हेड तो होगा। तो अगर उस वक्त नहीं था, अभी हो सकता है कि लेटर हेड आ गया, तो अभी का लेटर हेड में वो उस डेट का हिसाब से उस डेट मतलब बैक डेट है, उस डेट में
Today's topic was about energy transition. Then climate change actually made a twist. You said some mentioned about energy change and sustainable climate change, but I made a why, because climate change is happening because of the energy. Now we have to focus on sustainable practices. What we do, I'll read out most of the things, because so fundamental roots or step to sustainability. Yeah, I think you recollect the picture Chak De India, what Shahrukh Khan said before the final match. You enjoyed 70 minutes of your game. I will not coach you today. Remember that word. That was the best thing I collected. So the fundamental things start with R. You may be compelled to say it is a famous RRR, this famous movie, Natu Natu. But remember which was the producer name? RRR? Rajamouli. Yes, Rajamouli. First R stands for reduce. And there is and. That is nothing else. You should be aware. So, since we are coming from a corporate house, there is a corporate responsibility for us. Okay. Each one of us are member of the word called climate crew. There is a mail. See, their address to me, dear Sanjay Datta, we welcome you to this climate crew. And obviously, Tata Power has done something by putting in 7.5 lakh EV charging stations, electric vehicle charging stations, all over they are in the process of installing across India to avoid 50,000 tons of carbon dioxide emission across India. Okay. See, also this is our awareness campaign from the industry house, protecting rivers. Every month, everything comes to us, say that you protecting the rivers, and that it comes with the knowledge, means what actually it is, so that you need not search about why you are doing this or why not. Sorry. এটা কি এ পাই না সিগন্যাল না পেয়ে So, protecting rivers, sir, এটা কি জোর না আসবে তো সিগন্যাল So, gentlemen friends, so this is our corporate communication, and obviously they have launched a program called Orphan. Orphan means you donate, and this is one such example I have like to share with you. This is a calendar. After use, you tear it and throw it into the ground and grow into plants. This is the Orphan's initiative, and you can see the symbol Orphan here, and here is the symbol Orphan, and obviously we are given this sustainable is attainable. This is the logo here we are having. Sustainable is attainable. It's not that we have to do something else from outside. Okay, and there are two detailed sustainable initiatives. One was, because it will take some time, I like to skip. First one was, it all came from our HR department to delete all unnecessary mails. What happens if you, the more you store, the more space is required. So the more data you are capturing. So what will happen? Because you are data hungry. Because every time you are data hungry means more data needs to be stored somewhere. So something will affect. Definitely will be coming. That's what how they are interning. And second was, every month means our CSR, means Corporate Social Responsibility team, declares a program to plant trees all around our plant. Teak, all means cash crops mainly, whether for the benefit of the villages and all. So we participate in those programs, go and plant the trees and interact with the community, asking them to please protect the trees. See, by planting trees is a very good thing, but if you don't care, there is no meaning. That is what I read in one place. You can plant 1,000 trees, but if all the trees dry, if you can take care of one, then we are doing real sustainable practice for yourself. Okay. So sustainable stories, hydroponics. You see, I will just bring out the stories because I have written in details. Climate controlled hydroponic farming system that allow crops to be grown without soil, without significantly fewer resources, combines controlled environment agriculture with IoT, means Internet of Things, means they are utilizing internet information to control this hydroponics. No soil, hydroponics is soilless culture. It's happening in Gujarat. Mr. Praveen Patel is using 5x, getting 5x output with 90% water. NIT Rourkela, Dr. Shri Datta, campus wastewater, which is known as grey water, means water of usage. Dhobigat to laundry waste, reduce wastewater demand on the campus. She is doing this project. You can read. I mean to say. Farmer planting trees above 27,000. Mr. Ranaram Bishnoi, Ekalpuri village, Rajasthan, to prevent desert coming in, sand come to his village. 20 years planted 27,000 plants to prevent. This is sustainable. We need not have to write. मैं बोला ना, आज कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा, आपको खेलना है. This is sustainable. See how they are doing. You need not to write and you tell people or teach people like this. So around 20 years, desert is stopping sand from swallowing this village. Sundarban Jeliakhali, farmers digging up pond because that area is prone to salty water, marshy lands. Okay, so crops die in them. So they combine this, they spare a part of their land, farming land, in construction of ponds to store rainwater. And on their own with Gram Samriddhi Foundation support to store rainwater and reduce pressure on drinking water. Two friends, Noren Raj and Asutosh Anand from Bengaluru, recycled 500 metric tons of paper and saved 9,200 trees. And their startup called District, same thing like this. Great Green Wall Africa. Now we go to the outside. What they have done, bringing life back to the age of the Sahara. Sahara itself means desert. And stretching from the Atlantic coast to Senegal, to the shores of Djibouti, to the Red Sea, 8,000 kilometers. The biggest environmental restoration project. Large scale effort to restore degraded land through tree planting, wetland and grassland restoration. Okay, to tackle desertification. So this is the stretch they are doing, Sahara to spread. Chennai was affected with floods. Mr. R. Shivaraman began eco-block, recycle plastic rain to hold on rain instead of letting it rush away. Eco-block includes building rainwater harvesting structures spaced every 15 meters, 1.5 meters. Unit honeycomb structure designed allows to capture 96% of rainwater. Flower waste into clean fertilizer. Who thought of it? And 12, at 12 the pilot project Sri Venkatas University tested a single reactor that converted 10 different wastes from temple power to plastic bottles into biofuels, fertilizers and industrial materials, and virtually nothing left for landfill. There is zero waste to landfill. A little stories. Hannah Hurst, a teenager with a $12 electric generator prototype that turns ocean current into clean power for remote homes. Then Manuel Apollonio Di Carvalho, an illiterate bricklayer, he was working on a municipal project. He invented a molded cement reservoir that stored 16,000 liters, which became Brazil's largest rural water program. This Frederick Noroge and Karuken Miron Onsarigo, these two innovators from Kenya, M-Pesa Foundation, Kiambu County, farm waste, that is coconut shell, maize cob with steel mesh copper, and from old batteries into a low-cost vehicle exhaust filtration system named Heva Sabi. Heva means clean, in air in Sabi. So these are the sustainable stories because this is sustainability and nothing else. We are having everything on. Okay. Reflective roof coating. Today we are having Miss Rasmika Mandhana and Mr. Vicky Kaushal with Birla of us paint the roofs, but it was done 20 to 30 years back with lime. If you do it, your roofs will automatically cool. So, this is reflective roof coating from primary health sector they are doing. This is Swachh Bharat mission we are having. They are targeting 88.2 million tons of legacy waste. Major states are Maharashtra, Karnataka, Rajasthan. Deadline is 2026. And Delhi is doing biomining. Biomining is excavation of old landfills because mostly we dump all our waste into one place and that is known as a legacy waste. But again, electric vehicles or EVs, launching of EVs, carbon footprint measurement, both two things have a but against them. Because electric vehicles will be coming hardliners. A single plastic bottle, this bottle, lasts about 450 years, friends, gentlemen. It is control studies they have given, sorry. Recent invention that PET bottle, 2024 production of PET bottles reached 450 billion. 1 million bottles produced per minute somewhere in the world. This is the hardliner because it has had roughly 450 years to degrade. We do not know. Today we are drinking the water from this bottle and throwing it into our dustbin. 450 years to remain. Biomining. Although Delhi is doing this biomining, but what is happening? Excavation of old landfills produces more than plastics. A significant portion of the total mass fine soil layer fraction or fine fraction waste is heavily contaminated and exceeds the Indian compost standard because you cannot do it again mix with the soil. It is beyond the Indian compost standard. Satellite data showed Secunderabad and Mumbai among the world's biggest methane emitting landfill sites in 2025. So these are the negatives. EV, electric vehicle, muchly propagated, projected, sold, hyped. EV needs electricity because you need to charge that electric vehicle, isn't it? Critical minerals, because of the lithium, critical minerals, and 70% of that means it is one of the components is cobalt, and 70% comes from Democratic Republic of Congo. They are violating the child rights. Every human rights is violated. So, pollution of rivers, human rights by way of child labor, huge cost of battery replacement. Today you are buying that battery EV. When you happen to replace that battery, you see the cost or how much it costs you. Carbon footprint. We say carbon footprint, water footprint, but this carbon footprint was coined by British Petroleum, BP, to divert attention from pollution creating profit-making oil companies to the personal lifestyle of the common mass. Imagine a celebrity traveling every day by a plane and you are traveling to your workplace one time by your motorcycle. Will they be the same? But still we are getting focused. The focus was made deliberately to the common man to subvert that cause. Means they are polluting very much. So I told you the oil OPEC countries, you feel that pollution level there, but still nobody speaks about them. So this is a big article I have read on this, which is beyond the scope of this discussion. But I really, it turned my head how they have changed this concept. They say carbon footprints, water footprints. For what? Okay. So some examples, friends. It is there at our TPSDI. Sir, if you are visiting, you will see this chart. This I think there are seen. Hide and seek, 5 years minimum, the grapper, cigarette butts, all these things have been clubbed. So how long is lifespan? It is nicely been captured. I really appreciate this. So this is the thing, we are using it, means arbitrarily, we have the liberty to use and throw, but still this is the thing happening. This is the water scarcity map of India, orange color. Now, I said that we need data centers to capture our data because AI is based on data, unless data, वो जो ये पिक्चर था ना कोई मिल गया धूप बास्केटिंग नहीं धूप नहीं मिल रहा है इसको जादू धूप because sun ray was there to function. AI depends on data. If you don't give data to AI, AI is blank. So that's the reason why I am telling this. AI data center means now all the foreign companies like Google, they want to build data centers into India, third world countries. Why? Because it is banned. AI data centers are banned in their countries. Will come. But most of the data centers in India are located in water states. Why? Because a standard data center consumes 1,90,000 liters per day. 1 crore. This is the liters of day, per day water consumption. Can you imagine? That is demineralized water. It's not normal water, demineralized water. And what happens? This water must be demineralized and it is not returned. It gets evaporated from the data centers. So why that one? Because that will deplete the water layer in their countries. Now they are giving offer. I want to establish your business. People will get lured by their offer. Will be establishing the data centers and will face this water shortage. UK has bad. Even UK has commented on India for adopting this practice also. So means this is the sustainability. What we think of day one, because it's happening at the backdrop or the background. What is happening? The reality. Now, this is a picture. I have a question. Which country has the highest forest cover? Anybody from the house? Any other option? Opinion? Okay. Russia, Brazil, Canada. These are the 3 countries. But where we stand, India is almost in the 9th position. No forest cover. Okay. Now we come to a quiz. There will be some reward for it. When is World Water Day? You have to be very specific because I have a chocolate for you.
22nd March.
Very good. Every year. Okay. That's the reason I marked mine in the first slide. I made a start. COVID start. It was written on that. Art Day. Thank you. So here is your answer. 22nd April. World River Day. Anybody? I need to know. These are the climate true questions. 4th Sunday in the month of September. It is celebrated. Okay. So, when is World Environment Day and theme of 2026? There are 2 questions. World Environment Day, we are speaking of sustainability, climate change, World Environment Day. 5th June. Okay, 1 point. And what is this theme this year?
You got
Sir, chocolate one. Some from my pocket. Okay. Who are definitely June is there, inspired by nature. This year's theme for climate, for our future. This is the World Environment. Why Ocean Day?
It's the 9th May.
8 June. Because there were projects taken to clean the oceans. Can you imagine? And the findings is horrible. I read an article in a podcast. I heard a podcast that young lady took a mission to clean the ocean. Ocean cleanup project. So this is the level of International Day for the Conservation of the Ozone Layer. Anybody? Just brain racking so that we just appreciate. 16th September. See, integrating, next, my favorite topic is integrating innovation and sustainability. This Bihar engineer, what he has done. Gone mask into plastic-free coffee wrappers. You see the level of innovation and sustainability. Cup securing 30 lakh order from Indian Railways. Okay, we spoke about this water bottle, and the water bottle is displayed there. India's biggest environmental challenge, just didn't inspire awareness, it inspired innovation, shows how solving large social and environmental problems can create a scalable business opportunity. What is this? Next business, okay, let's see. Biodegradable alternate bottle has come. From renewable materials, including sugarcane and corn starch, in purpose like ordinary bottle like this. But it has half life of 180 days. After 180 days it will dissolve. Like to know the name? 30 rupees only. Wow. This is a biodegradable water bottle. So this has solved the problem. 450 years to 180 days. This is sustainability for the journey. Okay.
That bottle is 30 rupees, allowing water.
You buy the water, you drink the water and throw the bottle.
So bottle
30 rupees. That is not actually, it is not coming with commercial market. India commissioned the world's first pilot hydrogen plant utilizing nuclear process heat instead of electricity. At the Indira Gandhi Center Atomic Research AICTE, this is innovation because no heat is with waste heat into hydrogen generation. Next we come mostly is water positivity. The two terms will be hearing every now and then. Water neutrality. What is water positivity and water neutrality? Water positivity is converting every water back to your use. Like suppose you are washing clothes, that water, instead of throwing into the drain, if you throw into your plants, that water is getting reused. In fact, I am doing it. I have started that practice. No. After washing clothes, because it contains very good chemicals. No, detergents are very user friendly. I mean, enzymes are there. Liquid, so anything you can do it. And second thing, Japan, what they do, they wash their hands and that pile, that kind of cistern of the toilet. That's grey water.
About grey water system, right?
And that is grey water, I think. There's grey water that is going to the toilet and getting reused. Even after that sewage treatment can happen. And sorry, coming back to this, and the water neutrality is that you declare to the government that we will no longer take water from natural sources. We are sufficient with water which we are having. That is water neutrality. So definitely under ministry, if you say declare I am water neutral, they will put in measures. They will take an audit whether you are actually following it or not. And Government of India, Ministry of Power has given a latest decree. Central level sewage is now treated as a resource in India. Sewage, mind it. Sewage. Treated wastewater is replacing fresh water used in industries. Projects are underway to supply treated water to refineries and power plants. And is under the mission for Clean Ganga, National Clean Ganga Mission. NMCG. Okay, and wastewater turning into resource. Circular water economic model. This waste to the use of raw material to the other. That is circular economy happening. No, nothing is wasted. Okay, I will just change this. Government of India, Ministry of Power, Jal Shakti, thermal power plants. This is for us. These thermal power plants, okay, located within 50 kilometer radius of the sewage treatment plant, municipal treatment plant. Please take a note. Local bodies, similar organizations shall use order their closeness to the sewage treatment plant mandatorily use treated sewage water. It is a must now. And for example, 8 million liters of day is being Jamuna sewage treatment plant is in Mathura refinery. The use of treated wastewater for thermal and operation purpose sourced from nearby sewage treatment plant is Pragati Power Corporation, Delhi, and our Jojobera thermal power plant, Jharkhand. And there is a proposal, it is a feasibility, it is a big proposal. It means we have to use treated water, it will offset that quantity of good quality water, and that will be used for drinking water purpose. So this sewage water is being recycled. That is water, somewhat of water positivity we are coming, and obviously circular economy is also happening because waste to reuse like that. All India Radio, example. All India Radio says, please save rain today, secure tomorrow. And Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Awareness Campaign, you see Catch the Rain, they are posted in X handle. And I have mentioned the word Bhutan. I have recently been to Bhutan. Bhutan is solely dependent on hydel power, no thermal power, nothing. And each and house is meticulously designed to capture the rainwater. And it is a gold, liquid gold basis. It's so pure. And I am really marveled at each of the house. Same construction, same thing, but they are put in such a way that water does not get locked into the street. Every drop of rainwater is being captured. So now we are following that path today. Even houses in Bangalore, people who are renting their house and for the paying guests are all, mandatorily you have to use the solar rooftop as well as you have to go for the rainwater harvesting program. Otherwise, you will not be allowed to keep tenants in your home. This is fact from Bangalore. You can take information. Circular economy, turning foundry waste into road. Recent CSIR, CRI, Central Roads Research Institute, Institute of Indian Foundrymen. So, waste foundry sand into road infrastructure. This vision was given by Dr. N. Kalaiselvi, the Secretary DSI and Director General CSI, indicating industrial waste road construction and key to Indian circular economy vision. Okay. Stories of real time. People are thinking of water evaporating into atmosphere. What India did, they put in solar panels on top of a canal. See, this is sustainability. Nothing else. Simple things. Built over irrigation canal in India instead of farmland, a 750-meter strip of solar panels keeps 9 million liters of water from evaporating every year. Obviously, village in Tamil Nadu have restored 38 traditional tanks and ponds that are dry and silted over the years. So this is by Durgapur group, they have done it and raised groundwater levels, providing reliable water for drinking, irrigation and lifestyle even in dry months. See the level of people, how they are committed. Farmers no longer need to dig very deep for water and fallow lands are deep and cultivated again. So this attracted me the most, the grit and the sacrifice. This person, Professor G.D. Agrawal, gave his life. 111 days of hunger strike. Why? Because he's an environmental engineer from Professor of IIT Kanpur. What he did, first member of Secretary of Central Pollution Control Board, made remarkable contribution to both science and environmental conservation. So he began his fast indefinite on 22nd June after serving 111 days without putting passed away. But he left a legacy that made the Ganga conservation a national agenda. Again, he said that if we cannot protect the river that sustain us, what kind of legacy you are leaving behind? कोई निशाना छोड़ फिर दुनिया से गो, एक दिन याद है ना गाना, कोई निशानी छोड़. This is the person I really have. You see that clean Ganga means both Nirmal and Aviral, clean going. His motto was there. It has to remain both clean, Nirmal and free flowing, Aviral. So this Professor G.D. Agrawal gave his life for it. See the grit and sacrifice for it. Obviously, fuel security is coming. Much of that thing, E20, E25 blending. Today while coming, I was discussing with Manoj sir, E10, he was worried about E10. No car is available for E10. Nobody is providing E10. Again, like Cockroach Janata Party, E20 Janata Party has emerged. Minded friends. Like Cockroach Janata Party, E20 Janata Party has emerged to fight because again, there is a ploy behind this from the OPEC countries, because if you reduce oil consumption by mixing ethanol, their business will go. Like BP, conversion of carbon footprints, same thing. They will put in money, funding money, to raise the concern, no E20. But Mr. Nitin Gadkari has pitched forward. He said E2, E20, gradually even Manas had mentioned about E95. I do not know whether that car will get intoxicated or not. Because no petrol and only ethanol, I do not know what will happen. And pure ethanol, obviously. Okay. So, sir, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, he said that people getting mobility and ethanol powered vehicles, cleaner, cost-effective alternatives, and obviously urea, manufacturing of urea for carbon, because urea utilizes carbon dioxide as fuel, so green ammonia replacing fossil fuels. Okay. So I have a small video. Sir, I like to give a question, only 3 minutes of yours. Okay, can I wait a minute? Sound like done. That's right. Here, please request your attention here.
Major reason क्या है? If not, then in the next 3 minutes, something is going to change in your life. पेड़ कटने का one of the सबसे main reason है paper, which
Okay, there's a video because in the meantime, I can share with you some stories. There's a green corridor project, cutting temperatures by 2 degrees centigrade with 2 million plants and 8,000. Okay, start.
हाँ, do you know पेड़ कटने का one of the major reason क्या है? If not, then in the next 3 minutes, something is going to change in your life. पेड़ कटने का one of the सबसे main reason है paper, which is around 35% of it. और उसका भी मेजर यूज होता है टिश्यूज में. वही टिश्यू जिसे हम एक बार यूज करते हैं और फेंक देते हैं. वही टिश्यू जिसे कभी कुछ गिर जाए तो साफ कर देते हैं. वही टिश्यू जिसे हम यूज तो बहुत ज्यादा करते हैं और वेस्ट उससे भी ज्यादा करते हैं. वही टिश्यू जिसकी आदत है हमको. इनिशियली पेपर से डेड ट्री से ही बनते थे, बट जैसे जैसे हमारा यूज बढ़ता गया वैसे वैसे पेड़ का कटना बढ़ता गया. टिश्यूज की डिमांड और सॉफ्ट सबसे सॉफ्ट होने की वजह से रिसाइकिल पेपर का यूज कम और पेड़ का कटना ज्यादा होता है. बिकॉज सॉफ्ट टिश्यूज आर मेड फ्रॉम फ्रेश कट ऑफ ट्रीज. एक दिन में अराउंड 27,000 ट्रीज कटते हैं सिर्फ हमारे टिश्यू यूज करने की वजह से. 27,000 into 365 makes it around 1 crore trees in a year. Surprised? Wait, there is more. अगर इसी स्पीड से हम पेड़ काटते गए तो it is estimated that our survival is impossible for even next 100 years. It's an alarming situation, guys, and it's time to change. पर आप सोच रहे होंगे कि टिश्यूज का रिप्लेसमेंट क्या है, राइट? अगर हम अपनी लाइफस्टाइल में थोड़े से चेंजेस कर दें तो हम बहुत सारे पेड़ों को कटने से बचा सकते हैं. I tried it myself for a month, and trust me, guys, it is not that difficult. Change number 1: अपने पॉकेट में हमेशा एक हैंकरचीफ यानी रुमाल रखें। अगर आपके मोबाइल के लिए जगह मिल सकती है तो आई एम श्योर एक रुमाल के लिए भी मिल सकती है। चेंज नंबर 2, 3-4 टायर खरीदें और उस जगह पे रखें जहां आप टिश्यूज का यूज सबसे ज्यादा करते हैं, जैसे कि कार, ऑफिस प्लेस, बैग, पर्स एक्सेट्रा। चेंज नंबर 3, टिश्यूज का यूज सिर्फ तब करें जब आपके पास कोई और ऑप्शन ना हो और वो भी एफिशिएंटली करें। 4 की जगह सिर्फ एक यूज करें। चेंज नंबर 4, हाथ धोने का ऑप्शन पहले दें। ये कुछ 10-15 सालों से टिश्यू का कल्चर हमारे यहाँ आया है। Otherwise, we always used to wash hands before and after eating food. Now you would be thinking, इसमें water waste बहुत ज़्यादा होगा. But let me just tell you something. According to reports, एक single toilet paper roll को बनाने के लिए 37 gallons of water use होता है, plus cutting of trees. Now you think which is a better option? आज मैं एक pledge लेता हूँ, मैं थोड़ा नहीं लेता हूँ. I pledge कि आज से हम ये 4 lifestyle changes करेंगे. क्या आप भी हमारे साथ pledge लेंगे? इस इंफॉर्मेशन को स्प्रेड करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो इस वीडियो को ज्यादा से ज्यादा शेयर करें सो दैट ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग इस प्लेज से जुड़ सके और पेड़ों पर।
ओके, थैंक यू। देखिए क्या करते हैं। Navi Mumbai Airport. New type of hand, they have installed new hand rubber, no tissue paper. Future next. Hybrid powered commercial vehicles could begin seeing wider deployment in India by 2031. National Green Energy Mission, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Sir was asking about the fuel cell. This is the first hydrogen power train launched in India 17th of July from Jind to Sonipat. And till date it has successfully covered 1200 kilometers, more than 3200 liters of fuel. This is running. Why this has been taken? Anybody? Because we have to pay the price when the train runs to a forest. Because it is killing animals, huge cost of electricity installation. So this will generate nothing but only water vapor out of it. Interesting opportunity. Netflix wants Indians to write stories about climate change. You are most welcome. They have launched a climate scriptwriting lab, India's first. Will select 60 writers from across the country with a hybrid model of mentorship to bring out the 4 stories about climate sustainability themes. And this was reported by Madam Akanksha Mishra, 10th April 26, it came out. Adapt your memory. This is a question, can you name the 2 personalities? Okay, thank you. What was the catch line? Both is the secret of energy. Thank you. So now what must be the secret of our energy? Answer is asked. Always seek knowledge. Thank you. But the journey has ended. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, right good, right good. Light.
In fact, sir, I'd like to share more things. China has used genes from fireflies and luminous fungi and made glowing plants. They don't need any light. Denmark is turning off white light from its street lamps and painting the road red. Why? Because urban light was blocking the path of the bats. Because at that point, greenery and the site was ending. So bats were getting see the sustainability and see their thought. And Denmark is one of the countries which is known to be the most, uncorrupted country. Transparency International, if you see, all the members belong from Denmark. Even they will not accept a bouquet of flowers by anyone. That is their way of understanding. So even if you go to Denmark, they will ask, are you earning this much? You say no, you will not be allowed to enter that country. Okay, and another thing I remember is, I like to say is that in Saudi Arabia, there wastewater in the ever-expanding green corridor in the middle of the desert. Saudi Arabia does not have any river. Okay. The wastewater from a treatment plant is flown through the Wadi Hanifa Valley, shaping a green corridor, 120 km long, with sections of 100 feet of wide and up to a few hundred feet of depth. So, mix of groundwater and treated water, they are about using 410 cusecs, that is cubic feet per second cubic. Okay, and they have reported that financial saving of 133 million within 3 years by using this wastewater program. And Israel, obviously, as we spoke about data center, Israel's nanothermal, they have turning waste data center heat into power. Waste heat from data centers into power, clean energy, using advanced thermoelectric materials with potential applications in industry, desalination infrastructure. Last but not least, Sweden, France, Finland, Norway, Italy and Denmark are moving from smart classes to again textbooks, because these things, AI is making their students dull. Because they are bringing in traditional handwriting and traditional reading. So they have ordered all smart classes to be, all these things to be removed. Students will go back with the books. Okay. And in fact, the other day I was got some news reading that average IQ of the students are lower than their parents. So this is sustainability. Thank you. Thank you all friends. Thank you faculty. Thank you Anup sir. Thank you principal sir. Thank you Manu sir. It was a pleasure, because as I said, that journey hasn't ended. The journey will keep continuing. I try to share with all the present happenings, encompassing the whole world, because each aspect is interlinked to many things. So each one is, you cannot segregate climate change from energy transition, neither you can change sustainability, because amidst this, and you are there, I expect that you will think more on this to bring some more sustainable solutions. Like this, just simple things. Okay, thank you once again.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a wonderful deliberation. Now, if you have any question, query, you can ask to sir.
Finish well within time, sir.
So, what in a nutshell, what sir has told, that we do have some